having fun without any drugs, without any alcohol, without any violence creeping in. And you know, I looked at that, well, violence, I guess there was. But it was violence against bishops in a dunk tank, and that's legal. All right? But as I watched you, I just thought, I hope you realize how rare you are. Because you know dang well that many of you go to schools, and if they tried to pull the same thing off at your school, it wouldn't have flown. And there's something about you that made that fly today. Your leaders did a lot of good planning. They had it very well organized. But there was something about you that made that work, that made it fun, that made it memorable. Somebody was telling me that you guys have a Mormon prom. How many have ever been to that? Good. They said, we have this Mormon prom, and they said, there are non-members of the church who like to come to the Mormon prom because they say it's more fun. And I hope you'll remember that. You had fun today. Good, awesome, wholesome, clean, just nice, down-to-earth fun. And I had fun watching you. You just did a marvelous job. Well, my last message to you tonight comes from a lady that I met in prison. Now, I wasn't in prison, but I went to speak at the prison, and that had me scared because I don't speak to prisoners, I speak to you. I speak to teenagers, I speak to gerbils, all right? I don't speak to prisoners. And they invited me to come to the prison and speak, and I said, well, okay. And so I was all nervous about it, and then I found out that it wasn't the men's prison, it was the women's prison. And then I was really nervous because I pictured these big motorcycle mamas, you know, and I thought they'd be like in their black leather and chains, and they'd all like want my body. And so I was nervous. I was nervous, man. And I got there, and I found the most delightful group of ladies. Yes, they've made mistakes. Yes, they've had problems. And yes, they're learning. They're learning a lot. Every one of those ladies had learned something. And I said, okay, I have the chance to speak to teenagers. So what do you want me to tell the teenagers from you so that they can avoid your problems, avoid your life? And they all had advice, every one of them. I could go on for days. But the one I want to share was just a simple phrase that came from one of the ladies. She said, you tell those teenagers to act and not react. That was it. She says, you want to avoid my problems? You want to avoid my life? Act toward people. Don't react to them. Act toward situations. Don't react to them. Let me tell you what she's talking about. Years ago, there was a girl from Utah who won Miss America. Her name was Charlene Wells. Her name now is Charlene Wells Hawks. She still lives in Utah. Great lady. But she won Miss America, and everybody was all excited because this Mormon girl wins Miss America. She was on all the newspapers. She was on all the magazines, and she made quite a splash. President Hinckley called her our greatest sister missionary. That was a pretty high compliment. So the year was ending, and the next year, the girl from Utah who was going to go to the pageant was a girl named Gina Larson. And right before she went back to the big pageant, a friend calls her on the phone and says, Gina, I just think you ought to know that you're going to lose. Gina said, oh, thank you. Thank you for the call. What are you doing calling me and telling me that? And she said, look, they're never going to choose the same girl from Utah again. The second time in a row, it'll never happen. So she's, I just don't want you to get your heart all set on it and then get disappointed. And so I just think you ought to go into it knowing you're going to lose. Well, Gina thought, I don't want to lose. I want to go back and I want to win this thing. I want to win and be Miss America as much as anybody else. So I'm going to go back with a positive attitude, and I'm going to win this thing. Well, she went back with her positive attitude, but her friend was right. Very first eliminations, they took her right out of the competition. But she had a good attitude. She got to the end of the week. The final night came. There they are on TV. Maybe you've seen it. They're all up on the stage. They're standing there in their pretty dresses. They're smiling and having a good time. And Gina says she looked out, and she saw 3 big TV cameras. Not video cameras, big, huge network TV cameras. And she thought, whoa, I am on this side of the TV camera. Now, all my life, I've been watching this thing. I've been on that side of the TV camera. But now I'm on this side. She says, I felt so proud to think that I'd even come that far. Well, right then, the girl on this side of her starts crying. Miss Wisconsin. She's crying. Now, they're not supposed to be crying. They're on national TV. They're supposed to be smiling and having a happy day. And here this girl is crying. So Gina leans over and she's kind of smiling, and she leans over and she says, what is the matter with you? And the girl says, I have nothing left to live for. She was 21. She had been in 111 beauty pageants. It was everything she worked for. It was everything she got motivated for. It was everything she liked. And all of a sudden, she's on the stage of Miss America, and she says, I have nothing left to live for. Gina says, man, I thought of my own life. This was nothing. This was just a little teeny moment in a whole eternity of limitless potential. She says, I just felt so grateful for that perspective. Well, right then, the girl on this side of her starts crying. Miss Ohio. She's crying. So Gina's like, so what is the matter with you? And the girl says, how will I face my father again? See, I don't even know that we can understand the pressure that some of those girls are under. I mean, here's her big beer-drinking dad, and he's sitting in some bar someplace in Ohio, and he's bragging to all his buddies that his daughter's going to be Miss America, and then she doesn't get chosen. She says, how will I face my father again? Gina says, man, I thought of my own dad. He loved me. I mean, he loved me if I was in a pretty dress. He loved me if I was in jeans. He loved me if I had makeup on my face. He loved me if I didn't have makeup on my face. He loved me if I didn't have a face on my head. He just loved me. She says, I was so thankful for that. Well, right then, she says, I just couldn't take it anymore. She's standing on the stage of Miss America. This girl's crying. This girl's crying. They're crowning the new Miss America. She's crying. Charlene Wells, the old Miss America, is crying. She says, I just couldn't take it anymore. She says, I'd just been under a lot of pressure. She says, I just kind of snapped. She says, I just started to laugh. Now, she goes home from this, and she's watching the video that her dad had made. And they're watching the video. They start crowning the new Miss America. She leans over to talk to her dad, and all of a sudden, she hears herself laughing on the TV. She says, Brad, you cannot even hear the announcer. She says, all you hear is this hysterical cackling. She says, I was so proud. She says, man, that was my time on national TV. She says, everybody would have said, that girl's a loser. You know, she just lost Miss America. But she says, I did it. I did what they tell you you're supposed to do. She says, I laughed. And she says, I have it on video to prove it to everybody. Now, that's what the lady in the prison was talking about. Acting, not reacting. See, most people would think in that situation that she's just going to puddle up and cry. But she chose. She chose how she was going to handle that situation. And that's acting. That's what I want you to remember. Now, how many of you have ever said hello to a total stranger? Good. I'm proud of you. How many have ever had that person freak out? Yeah. Oh my gosh, all you do is say hi, and they're like, "Wah." I mean, I go to the store, I say hi to the little kids, hi, and their mothers start gathering them around them. And I say hi to everybody at BYU. I mean, I don't care if I know them or not. I just say hi, 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 hi. Usually they think that I am hi, because I just say hi to everybody, whether I know them or not. Now, what happens when you're going along and all of a sudden your eyes meet with somebody you don't know? Where do your eyes go? See, usually down. It's like we're little puppets. Somebody pulls a string, and we react. We react. But I don't let people get away with that. When I'm walking across campus and somebody goes like that, I go, hi! And then they just start laughing because they realize how stupid it is that the sidewalks are getting more attention than the people who are walking on the sidewalks. Now that's acting and not reacting. Okay, how many of you have ever been driving? How many have ever been driving on the freeway? How many have ever been driving on the freeway with your mother? Okay, yeah, so your mom's driving along on the freeway, and all of a sudden some guy comes up behind you and he starts honking. And you're like, Mom, pull over, he wants to get by you. And she's like, I can't pull over, there's a big truck right there. And you're like, Mom, just pull over. And the guy's behind you honking. How many know what I'm talking about? Okay, so your mom finally pulls over, the guy speeds past you, and as he passes you, he flips you off. Okay? Now there's your little test, my Mormons. See, do you react? Are you a puppet? Does he pull your string? Do you show him a few little fingers of your own? You know, hey, check out my CTR ring right there. I mean, do you react, or do you have the courage to act? Say, hi, 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 hi. See? Having the courage to act and not react. See, now in a moment we're going to go to a dance. Most men my age don't spend a lot of time at youth dances, but I live at youth dances. I spend tons of time at EFY dances, and it's always so funny because I look over and there's a big group of girls dancing together over here. There's a big circle of boys dancing together over here. And I feel like I am at a Jewish wedding. Now, it's time to blend the circles. Blend the circles. Amen. Yes, amen. And when and when the slow song starts, can you feel the love tonight? All right, when the slow song starts, that boys, that's your signal. That's your moment. That's your signal that says it's time for you to go out and ask a girl to dance. So don't stand there with the teacher's quorum. Oh, bond with the brethren. Love the brethren. Yeah, bond with the brethren. No, that is your signal. You got to go out and you got to ask a girl to dance. Now, girls, how many would like it if tonight, we're not talking about forever, we're not talking about eternity, we're talking about tonight, on the Queen Mary, how many would like it, girls, if the boys did the asking on the slow songs? Okay. Now, boys, I'm going to teach you something that's going to help you the rest of your lives. So learn it well. What a girl wants, a girl gets. All right? See, she doesn't want you to wait for her to come up and ask you. I mean, she will, but she doesn't want that. She wants you to come up and ask her. So tonight, boys, you're going to be a gentleman just like this guy right up here. And you're going to go out there, and girls, you're not going to dance like that out there. And you're going to go out, boys, and you're going to ask the girls to dance. Now, girls, you got to learn something, because most guys don't say, may I have this dance? They should. Their moms teach them how. But in the pressure of the moment, most boys just kind of crumble, and so they just kind of grunt. So if some boy comes up to you tonight and goes, do not call the paramedics. Just smile and say, yes, I'd love to. And then go out and dance with him. Yeah, then I'll take the responsibility. All right, now, girls, I've been picking on the boys, but you also have something you've got to do. If you want the boys to ask you, you've got to separate yourselves. I mean, all the girls at EFY, they come up to me and they say, gosh, Brother Wilcox, how come the boys never ask us to dance? And I'm like, I don't know. Maybe because you're surrounded by 30,000 girls and you are in the women's restroom. Now, girls, if you want the guy to ask you, you have to separate yourselves. I don't know what it is about girls and groups. I don't understand it. Even when I taught 6th grade, one girl would raise her hand. May I go to the bathroom? I'd say yes. 9 girls would stand up. And they'd all walk out of the room together. See, I don't understand that. But girls, you got to separate yourselves. See, he is a mighty hunter. And mighty hunter does not go for the herd. No, mighty hunter goes for lone zebra who has separated herself from the herd. And that is where the mighty hunter goes. So girls, tonight at the dance, the minute the slow song starts, don't gather together into a group. We must defend ourselves. No, you've got to separate yourselves out. Girls, if some girl comes even within 5 feet of you tonight at the dance during a slow song, you just go, you just stake your territory out right there. And then that gives the guy a chance to come up and ask you. Now, I know you're thinking, yeah, I'll separate myself from all the girls, but I am not going to separate myself from Shannon because she is my best friend. And so here's Shannon, all right? So Shannon's up here, and she's by Vivian. So Shannon and Vivian, now they're best friends. They play Barbies together. All right, so they're not going to separate themselves, all right? But do you see how awkward that makes it for some kid? Some guy comes up, what's he going to do? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch. No. See, it makes it hard for him. If he's any kind of gentleman, and he is, then that means he's got to spend the whole dance looking for his friend to ask your friend so that he can ask you. Guys, how many know what I'm talking about? Yeah. See, and that makes it awkward. And so, girls, what you got to do is separate yourselves, because then that gives these guys. So if I've got Jack, come here. Okay, and AJ, come here. So Jack and AJ, that gives them a chance to get up here and ask you to dance. So separate yourselves, girls. Separate yourselves. And see, then it gives them a chance to go up. So you go up there, and then you're right here. And then it gives them a chance to ask you to dance. Now, Jack, I want to hear your very best grunt. I mean, he just got right to it. All right, good. And now, Shannon speaks grunt. She's took it in school. And so she knows he's asking her to dance, and so she says,
I would love to.
Look at that, yeah. Yeah. All right, AJ, I want to hear your best grunt. And then you say,
yes, I'd love to.
good. Now you got to get her out to the dance floor. So what are you going to do? Turn around and let her follow you? No way. You're going to extend your arm. Whoa! All right, you're going to extend your arm, and then you're going to grab his arm, and you're going to grab him right here, his forearm. See, because if you grab him here, see, you grab him there, and then he's got to flex. Yeah, he's got to flex, and he can't hold that for that long. And so just grab his forearm. See, grab his forearm just like you've got it. Because every guy has a muscular forearm. Every guy, muscular forearm right there. And then you escort her out to the dance floor, and then take her in dance position. Take her in dance position. Okay, now, I want you to notice something. All right, one, notice where these girls' hands are. They're right up here. See, again, girls, don't hold him here, because then he's flexing the whole song. You're saying, hey, so how many are in your family? He'll never be able to answer you. The conversation's going to be really lame. So just hold him right up here, and then look at this. This is really smart. Jack's a smart guy because he's got his hand right up here on her shoulder blade. Boys, don't grab the girl here, because if you grab her waist, then every girl has to suck it in. And she can't hold it that long. So the boys are out there going, and the girls are like, and believe me, that dance gets really long. So just grab her shoulder blade. Every girl, see, turn around, look at how classy these guys are. Every girl has a skinny shoulder blade. Every girl in the world. And so you hold her shoulder blade, then you sway to the music. Can you feel the love tonight? Oh, so which temple should we get married in? Oh, you want to go to Tijuana? What should we name our children? Good job. Now, after the dance, then guys, don't just leave her there. All right? Extend your arm. Yep, there's the arm. Grab the forearm, and then just escort her off to the side of the dance floor. So just kind of take her to the side of the deck. Now, not over. You don't want to drop her in the water. Just over to the side of the deck. Then you're going to say,
Thank you for that.
Thank you. That's all right. The grunt can mean, may I have this dance? Or the grunt can mean, thank you for this dance. Either one, it's fine. Let's give him a hand. Now, tonight, I know that about every fifth song, they're going to play a slow song, okay? And you're going to be on the deck of the Queen Mary. If you blow this opportunity, I will kill you. This is a great opportunity to make some awesome memories. And so when the slow song starts, guys, that's your moment. Now, I know you girls are saying, no way, the guys are going to flake out, and if I don't ask some guy to dance, then he doesn't ever ask me. No, not tonight. Tonight, these men are going to rise up. They're going to rise up like mighty hunters. Mighty hunters. Okay, boys, I'm going to commit you. Boys, on a slow song, how many of you are going to be courageous enough to go out and ask a girl to dance? Come on, get those hands up. Get them up, get them up. Get them up right there. Get them up. You can do it. All right, and girls, I'm going to commit you too. How many of you are going to separate yourselves and be ready to get asked? How many will separate yourselves? Good. Good. Now, just before we go out to dance, let me remind you, acting, not reacting. So what do you do tonight? Guys, you get yourself all pumped up, you go up, you give some girl your very best grunt, and she says, no, I don't like this song. See, what are you going to do? Do you crawl back to the teacher's quorum? We hate women. We hate women. We hate women. No, go and you ask another girl. There are plenty of lone zebras out on the deck of the Queen Mary. So you just ask another one. Girls, so you separate yourself. You separate yourself. You're standing there alone, not in the middle of the dance floor, all right? You don't stand in the middle of the dance floor waiting for somebody to ask you. You kind of get to the side, stand your ground, and then nobody asks you. And then nobody asks you. And pretty soon you're like, every hormone in your body is screaming, go to the women's restroom. Sanctuary of sanctuaries. No, but you fight it. Fight that feeling. You stand your ground, and then all of a sudden some guy comes running across the deck of the Queen Mary to you. And you're like, oh my gosh, this is just what Brother Wilcox said was going to happen. And then he runs up to you and he says, hey, where's your sister? Now, girls, it's not because he's trying to be mean, and it's not because he's trying to be rude. He's just a guy. And guys kind of say what they're thinking without always thinking about what they're saying. So what are you going to do? You're going to react. You want my sister? I'll give you my sister. I mean, what are you going to do? Bite his leg? No, stand your ground, be dignified, be gracious, and just trust that there's going to be another mighty hunter, and he's going to come along in just a minute. Tonight's the night when everybody's going to be included. As much fun as you had this afternoon, you'll be able to have that much fun tonight too. If you'll just dive in, participate, and be gentlemen, be ladies, act, and don't react. This is mission prep. Jared, this is mission prep. What? I'm going on a mission in a couple weeks. And you're telling me dancing is mission prep? Yeah. If you don't have the courage to go up and ask a girl to dance, how are you going to ever ask some guy to get baptized? If you don't have the courage to go up and ask somebody to dance, and if you don't have the courage, girls, to separate yourself from your friends, how are you going to ever go out and tell people about the church? Okay? This is your moment. Tonight's the night. Now, I know you can do it because I saw you doing it all afternoon, and I'm proud of you. It's been wonderful, wonderful to be with you. I leave you with my testimony that the gospel's true, that you're in the right place. Mighty hunters, lone zebras, have a wonderful, wonderful evening, and I love you, and I say this in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Thank you so much. Give Brad a hand.